all right. Good job, Tom. Okay, excited for the opportunity. These week one, it feels like it takes forever to get there, and we still got plenty of work to do between now and Sunday at 1 o'clock. But certainly excited about the opportunity. We got a great football team coming to our place. Excited to be at our place. I don't think I've been down there for an opener just yet. This is my first one. We've been on the road the last few years. So this is great to get in front of our fans in week one. We're looking forward to that. And then, like I mentioned, really, really, really good football team. It's some great players, some great coaches. I have a ton of respect for Zach and all his coaches and what they do there. So we'll have our hands full, as you know. It's a really good football team, offense, defense, and special teams. Obviously, defensively, they do a lot. I think Lou does an awesome job making life hard on an offense and does a nice job of mixing coverage in front and you name it. So good players at really every level of the defense. Offensively, a great quarterback with some very, very, very good skill guys that everybody knows can be dangerous when they get the ball in their hands. Irv Smith I was with, their tight end. I know first year for Irv. Some new players on the offensive line, brought in some really good players on the offensive line. So I know they fit well into what they're doing. And the special teams, Coach Simmons always does a really nice job having a sound attack with some, again, very good football players. So we know what's at stake. We know the challenge in front of us, and now the focus really goes to Wednesday and getting our work done here on Wednesday. But with that, I'll take any questions.
Kevin, Denzel back on the field today. What do you need to see out of him over the next couple of days as he progresses through the protocol for him to be cleared?
Yeah, like you said, Chris, progress through the protocol. It's as simple as that. Really make sure that he hits all the benchmarks, and we'll go from there. It's part of it, but last first, it's part of it.
Kevin, you talked to Sean. What do you think his mindset is as he approaches week one?
Yeah, I think we've talked about Deshaun a lot since the spring. I don't think his mindset has changed one bit. He's a locked-in football player. I think eager to get out there on the field and get to work, but he's the same guy he was when we started in April.
Have you ever had to talk to Deshaun about not putting too much pressure on himself or trying to do too much as you guys get along?
I think you talk to the quarterback in particular about not doing too much in a given play and knowing when to ditch the ball and when to take care of yourself and those type of things. But he's played a lot of football in his career. He's played in a lot of big football games in his career, so not something that I worry about with Deshaun.
On the flip side of that, the numbers say he was throwing the ball away and holding it a little longer last year. How much does that have to do with the amount of time he missed before then?
Yeah, hard to even go back to last year. I would tell you just what he's done to date, the work he's put in. I feel really confident in that.
To learn about him, given that you've only seen, you have the full install and everything. You've only seen him practice in some preseason settings.
What's one more time?
We know how much has been made of the rust. How can you know how much of that has come off when he hasn't played a full game yet?
Have to tune in, I guess. I don't know.
The Bengals went out and paid the most money they ever paid for a free agent in getting Orlando Brown.
Yeah.
Miles has torn them up before. What do you see?
No, it's a good offensive line, Tony. I think Orlando Brown's a really good player. As you know, he's really big. So he's a challenge to pass rush. Really, their offensive attack is the challenge. I think they do a really nice job schematically in what they do and what they ask the quarterback to do. Obviously, we know the quarterback can make every throw, can make plays on schedule, off schedule, you name it. But it's a very impressive offensive attack just in total.
The offensive attack, that three-headed monster they have at receiver and Chase, Higgins, and Boyd. So much has been made of, we've talked a lot about Jim Schwartz's defense and tool now. To have to face this in week one, just your thoughts on trying to slow them down.
Yeah, it's a challenge. Doesn't matter if it's week 1 or week 17. It's a challenge. Jim and the defensive staff, along with the players, understand that. You're going to go up against really good offenses in this league. You're going to go up against really good defenses in this league. It's you got to just be a little bit better for 60 minutes.
Deshaun, I'm going to ask you about Nick Chubb.
Okay.
It's his. I don't want you to give away. You could give away secrets, but Is his role changing with Deshaun at quarterback as opposed to some of the guys he's worked with in the past?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you change Nick Chubb's role. Obviously, there's things that we'll do as an offense that are different this year, and that's no different than every season you go into. You have adjustments and you evolve a little bit in your run and pass game. So I think that may take place, but Nick is certainly still a very big part of our offense.
There's a lot of quarterbacks that have the physical gifts that Joe has, but what separates him that puts him in that tier of quarterback that's just special?
Yeah, he's a good football player. You know, just going back to his coming out of college and playing in big games, playing big in big games, extremely accurate, very athletic, probably more athletic than some people think. He can really make plays with his feet, can make all the throws. Again, and I give him credit, I give their coaches credit. They've done a nice job in their attack and what they do. It makes life hard on the defense. They do a good job.
Kevin, the Bengals with Burrow have been a very good team. We know that, and yet you are Browns are 5-1 against that team. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, you know this, Tony. I mean, every year stands on its own merit. Every game stands on its own merit. So anything that's happened before, good, bad, indifferent, really doesn't affect Sunday at 1.
Kevin, what is more important that safeties for him, just the defense in general, just kind of being in this building?
Yeah, it's a good group in there. You know, you talk about Juan, talk about Rodney, some pros, guys that have been there, have played in big games. I think you've seen Juan in practice and in games make plays on the football. I think he has very, very good ball skills. But it's when you have guys that have played in big games, I do think that gives your entire group a boost. I think your entire group can lean on that experience throughout the season, not just week 1. I mean, throughout the season.
We spoke to Sean today, and he said he wants to be even better than he was in 2020. Have you seen that out of him this offseason, and do you think he can get back that, MVP type of play?
We've talked about this. I hope every player and every coach is trying to be a better version of their past, and that's certainly for Deshaun. That's for everybody. That's for myself. We can't ever rest on our laurels or try to be something from the past. It's 2023, so that's certainly a focus for him and for all of us. And that's just a message for this team. Just you have to constantly get better every single day.
Ready? Will you guys limit him at all, just given he hasn't, he's coming off the big injury, he didn't play at all in the preseason?
Yeah, we'll see how he gets through this week. He's responded with everything that we've given him. So we'll have a plan going into these games, but really it's based on how he's doing, how he's feeling, that type of thing.
With him and Taki, I mean, just the fact those injuries that they went through and how tough that is on a player, that they are able to, come out here and feel good heading into this first week, the testament that is to them.
Yeah, I think you see that across the league, guys coming back from injury. They have a corner coming back from injury, similar injury. So these guys work really hard. I think you have to – it's a testament to their hard work. It's, credit to the medical staffs in these cases as well as getting your guys ready to roll. I don't think anybody likes to get hurt in this league, but the guys that respond and attack their rehab and are out there with their team in week 1 is always impressive for me to see.
The new cornerback, can he be expected to participate in the game?
Potentially. He's coming along nicely. He did a nice job really last week and this week in understanding what we do, so certainly can be part of this, yes.
Marquise still on the right track?
Yes.
Your new kicker to go down and kick at the stadium?
He will, yes.
Kevin, what are you most curious about heading into the game? Everything is so new. Is there a certain aspect of the offense of the team that you are most excited or curious to see?
There's really not specifically Mary Kay. I think, again, we talk about this. Week 1 gets so much attention, and rightfully so. It's the only one. It's the one in front of you for a long time. But for everybody, for all 32 teams, it's a long season. You need to make sure that you really take it in a one play at a time type of mentality when you get into these first games, because there can be a desire to do everything, and we want to run this play, and then we want to run this offense and this defense, and all those months of work, let's run everything. You really can't. There's just not enough plays. So that's over the course of the season. It really speaks to the evolution of your schemes. But I'd say that's the biggest thing that we've certainly messaged to our guys, is not giving our players too much, because it's really it's one game.
Especially defensively, do you have to kind of think about that just because there's so many new guys on defense?
Yeah, I mean, you do, and I think it's every week you think about that, Mary Kay, and that ultimately it's our jobs to give our players enough where they can go play fast. And I think if you give the players too much, it's obviously you get guys to think too much, and it's hard to think and play football. You have to be reacting.
Justin Hopkins historically has not had great success from 50 and beyond. Does that affect how you approach that, or?
I think it's every player, Jeff, in what they're capable of and what their history is, and then it's the day of the game. How's the wind? How's he hitting them in pregame? I think you take all of that into account, but we have a ton of confidence in Dustin.
A lot of focus on, obviously, Cincinnati's rightfully so on the Cincinnati passing game, but Mixon in that running game, how do they utilize it, and how is it changed over the course of like last year?
Yeah, they've done a nice job, again, going back to evolving. They've done a nice job evolving their run game. Over the years, they're very, very efficient in their run game, very efficient. And a lot of that can be based on some of their RPOs and what they're doing in terms of reading the defense and taking what's there. But I think Mixon is a very, very big physical back and strong and can fight for the extra yards. He also has, as we've seen, he's got good speed. He can get out in the open field. So it's a very efficient and good run attack.
Change out their safeties this offseason. I know every year teams make changes, but do they, based on what you have seen and observed, do they look any different?
Well, you only see that a little bit of a preseason game, so it's not that you can make too much from those. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if that changes considerably what they do or doesn't change at all. We have our suspicions as you go into it, but like everybody else, you need to get in the game and see what their adjustments are. It's the first week. In every game, the opposing side is going to see something that they were not anticipating. That's just unscouted looks, and unscouted looks in the first game are usually the highest as they're going to be all season long.
Is Elvin able to be in meetings and walkthroughs and stuff?
Yes.
Kevin, we talk a lot about concussions, but soft tissue injuries are the main reason guys miss games. Has there been a greater emphasis on that with you guys? I know you test their hamstrings and things like that.
Yeah, have you tried that Nord board, Tom? We'll get you on that after this. It's been a huge emphasis, and that's really, I'd say, it's both team-driven and league-driven. We've spent a lot of time as a league on soft tissue injuries, and a lot of really good information has been shared throughout the league. And what you're trying to do constantly is get ready for the season safely, but get ready to play football. And you can only get ready by practicing. So you do focus on that. And then internally, we have a lot of information on our guys. I don't understand all of it, but there's smart people that do, and try to use all that information to our advantage.
A bit of a decline in that even through training camp?
I haven't seen the number. I mean, we always do a deep dive once you get out. I don't know exactly where we are just yet. The league even does that for everybody, and we'll show you where you land throughout the league. Again, it's football. It's hard to predict injuries, although I know the league's trying to. But we're always trying to just get our work done as safely as we can.
Are there auditions taking place at return, or should we expect DPJ and Ford?
Yeah, as you know, Tony, Donovan has done it for us, has done it at a high level. Same for Jerome. So those are options. We have other options. It's really going to be based on the game plan, based on what Bubba wants to do in that particular game.
Martin Emerson is a pretty quiet guy when we talk to him, but it seems like these kind of matchups bring out the best in him. Do you see that when he goes up against a guy like whoever you're going to put up against a passing attack like this? Yeah,
I think MJ had a good rookie season for us. I think you saw in some of those games, certainly rose to the occasion. When you get off the bus and you're a rookie corner, the opposing offense is going after you. That's just part of the business. So we'll see in this game how many opportunities he gets, but he's somebody that doesn't shy away from competition, and I do think he's got the right mindset when you talk about playing that position.
For 2 years, Felton seemed to be a very well-liked player here among the coaches because of everything he did. Did he have an invitation to come back, and are you surprised he did?
Yeah, I can't get into all the specifics of that. Obviously, wish Dimitrik well. I know he's down there, but great football player, great person. Okay, thank you guys.